Hello and welcome back to this progress video thing. Even though we're probably not going to work on my game today, we're learning physics ECS. We're going through the samples. Now, right before we took a break, we looked at how changing material works. Well, how this changing material thing worked, and it was long. Like there was a lot of stuff I had to go through. Like I didn't know what flags are. I didn't know what flags were. I had to figure out what all these components do. I still don't understand it 100%, but I got an idea on how it works. But it was a lot of work. So this pretty much falls down and changes material when it triggers one of them. So it uses this system to change it, and uses these systems to give the right data, add the components and remove components depending on what gets triggered. And now we're looking at portals. So as you can see, it's not only doing portals, it's also changing the material. So it's copying the material it hits. So the ball hits the red trigger and it teleports and changes the material. So we're just going to look at the system that does this. So this is the portal behavior. Now every portal needs a companion or something to teleport to. So I guess that's what the companion portal is. So it gets a physics body variable, which is the script that you add to put physics into something. So physics body. So in this script, it uses the conversion system, which I haven't used before, but basically it creates a new entity. I think it creates a new entity. Let me test something. Now, if this is disabled, will it crash? It doesn't crash. So I'm just trying to crash it pretty much. That's what I'm trying to do, to see if the logic works. It still works apparently, because I don't know how conversion system works. I think during the time where it converts game objects into entities, it will do something during that system being run. But I don't get what this get primary entity does. There we go, made it crash. So I'm guessing that during the conversion system, it converts all the entities, and then after that, it'll do the DST manager, the entity manager, and it adds the components after the conversion. That's how it gets this entity. So probably this is like in a buffer that does it after the conversion system is done. And then after the conversion system is done, it does this. It does the DST manager, the entity manager. Don't know why it's called DST manager. Yeah. And the system crashes because it... Why does it crash? Hasn't been added to the component, to the entity. Now where does it check? Where does it do the check? This is one thing that I really want in ECS. Like the line where it crashes. Oh, I think this is it right here. Line 79 here. So in the portal components, it tries to look in the trigger portal components for the companion entity. And since it doesn't have a... for the start timer, 13 minutes, 14 minutes have passed. Anyway, so it checks the companion, wait, no, that's wrong. Alright, let me just start again. So the companion is the physics body of the companion portal that was set here. So I'm guessing that's like doing transform.gameObject, if that makes sense. So it gets the entity that is attached onto the portal. Oh wait, no. So you attach a script to a physics shape. A game object with a physics shape and physics body. You put the companion portal to another portal, which has a physics body, because physics bodies are required to do collisions, and using that physics body information, it'll look for that entity, and on the game object, it'll convert it to an entity, then add the companion that was obtained from the companion portal variable. Yeah, I think that made sense. Then when there's a trigger... No. Every frame, it will do this. I feel like you don't need to do all this. I think you can do a for each trigger volume portal, because I think this is the old way of doing it, but if you use a for each, it'll work properly. It'll also work. I don't know if it's more efficient. Don't know which one's more efficient. So to test our theory, we're going to change this to for each. For each. I think the other one, this one too, you could probably use a for each at some point. But let's try and convert this to for each. Can do read only. Trigger volume. I forgot how to do a for each with read only. That's not going to work. Actually, it probably wouldn't work. I don't know. I think it's a bit over my head right now. So I'm just going to try and understand it and not convert it. So it gets the companion of the portal entity. So using the portal entity, we get the index of the portal component that's associated with the portal entity, and then get the companion part of that component. Then we get the translation of the portal entity. Then we get the translation of the overlapping entity. Then we get the offset of the two positions, of blue position minus orange position. So the object that's entering the portal's position and the actual portal position, you minus that, then it gets the orange. You know, I'm going to rename it. I'm going to modify this one, because I don't like the orange and blue. It's kind of not clear. So this is the portal position. This is the actor position, we'll say. Oops, replaced the wrong one. This should be portal rotation. This gets the position, the overlapping entity. So I'm going to change this to actor entity. I missed something. So the act entity is the actual entity. So we get this overlapping component actor. We'll call it actor overlapping component. Alright, so there's 3 objects in play here. I just realized that. There's portal entrance, portal exit, portal in, portal out, and actor. And we'll call this portal out. And then we'll just call this portal in, entity in, and this is a portal entity out. This is the portal in, portal position in. So now we can see which is portal in, portal out, instead of blue and orange. Let's just change this around. Portal out entity. Now make sure this didn't break. We're just going to test it. Yep, it's all good. No issues. Now we can try and understand it better. So the first overlapping entity, I'm going to rename this also. Actor overlapping component. Oh, that probably doesn't make sense. I'll keep it that way. I'll keep it the original way for that. So overlapping entities dot length. So this is an array of everything that has a overlapping trigger volume and a portal overlapping trigger volume. Alright, I think now I'll be able to convert it to for each. Or maybe, I'm not sure yet. It's pretty much for each with a lot of stuff. Do we use trigger volume at all? Yeah, we do. Maybe this is less efficient because it's looking for all these every update from every physics step. So trigger volume portal, overlapping trigger volume. Are any of these just a tag? No, they all have data. So all these are just setting variables. What I want is this active velocity component. That probably wouldn't work. No, this won't work because the portals have no physics velocity. That's why they don't use for each. Alright, let's just write it out and see if we can fix it afterwards. I want to see what components are attached to the green portal from the entity debugger. So there's a trigger volume portal and trigger volume physics collider. It doesn't have overlapping trigger volume. It doesn't have this or this. This is called every update frame. Let's try again with these. So we don't have an overlap trigger. I think the way it's created is weird. So if I were to create my own portal system, I'd probably do on trigger, do teleportation, instead of checking each time. So I think it's just the way they design the code is very different, and there's no merit for me redoing it when I could be doing it in a different way. But the logic is that the out portal, it does something with the out portal. It puts the actor, the teleportee, it puts their position to the portal. It puts the actor's position to a plus equals its current position with the portal offset. So this shouldn't be named that. It should be portal out offset. Oh wait, actually actor position offset. So there's some issues here also. I didn't read this. I kind of ignored this part. So it sets the linear velocity to using math.rotate. Never used that before. But it rotates the velocity to the portal in offset, which should be actor rotation offset. Why is it int? It should be just in. So it gets the inverse of the portal in rotation. So you go into a portal and then it rotates it backwards, inverse rotation. That's why it goes down that way. That's why it doesn't go keeps on going forward. So let's experiment with that. Let's flip this around. So minus 180. Oh no. Let's take this out for a sec and put this to 90. Put this back in. Now in theory, this should just keep on going up. The green ball should go down, teleport, and keep on going up. It tried to go up. Wait, with the black portal, why is one of them none? And yet it still works. I should be focusing on this green portal. I actually don't know which direction it's going to go in. Wait, does it even have to be parented? No, it shouldn't have to be parented. Oh, it has to be parented because it does it at the same time. It has to do it at the same time. It has to convert at the same time, that's why. That's why they have to be parented. Oh, okay, makes sense. So my first theory of everything converting at the start was wrong. So this should propel forward towards the void and not the building, not the floor. So this way, right to left. Yay. But if we simply just do this, don't inverse it, it should go straight forward. So actually I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh yeah, forgot to parent it. Alright, that went towards Z, so let's make all this to 0. Let's make this 90, 90, negative 90. Let's make this 90, and then, yeah, no. So what I'm hoping is that it'll go forward, where the blue axis is. And of course I forgot to parent it again. Also, it does have to be inverse to be forward. I mean, do I even need to multiply it? I could just keep the same rotation, and that might be the correct value. Could just be that. Makes sense to me. Alright, that's weird. I think I know why. Let's fix it. I don't know why it's stretched on the y-axis. It should be stretched on the x-axis. So it's 0, 0, 0, 15, 0 0.5, 90, 90, 15, 0.5, 0.5, minus 90. And this should just work. Oh wait, did I parent it? It didn't. Of course not. Okay, so still doesn't do it properly. I mean, it goes the right direction, but when it teleports, it's slightly incorrect. So if I change this to a plus, so there's some issues doing it that way. Okay, no, some weird physics. Oh, I clearly don't know what I'm doing. Don't know why it works that way. I don't get why it's spawning on one side more than the other. So the velocity is correct, but the position is not. Oh well. We're gonna just skip that for now. I think I spent too much time on that. I'm gonna take another short break because that was just, I don't know, a lot of logic. And I kinda wanna reset my brain for a bit. So I'll be right back.